Yum, yum!
Okay, so the rig works. Let's set up providing feedback to the user now in the form of changing colors of the point A locator. I'm going to hide the helper setup. We won't need it anymore. And here we're going to do it in a way that the colors we're going to do it in a way that when the locator is above the plane, we will set the red component of the color to 1. When it's intersecting, we'll set the green component to 1, and then when it's below the plane, we'll set the blue component to 1. So how are we going to do this? We're going to use the logic nodes, and the first one we will use is A is greater than B, and that will be is above the plane. And we plug the dot product output, actually the x1, into value A. And if the value A, so what we look for coloring the locator red is when it's above the plane. And when it's above the plane, the dot product will be 0 or more. So that's what we set up. A is greater than B, and then B is 0. So if our dot product result is greater than 0, then we have a true. And if true, we want to output a true value of 1. That will be our red component. And if it's false, we want to output a false value of 0. And let's wire it up. So I'm going to actually change the color to red, so it's a bit easier. And let's get our point A locator, go to our display channels and drag the fill color in there. Things getting a bit small, but and we plug the output into the red component. So actually let's just move this guy here for a second. So now when we move this locator up, you could see it turning red when we are above the plane. So that's fine. That's exactly what we need. Let's handle the below the plane case now. So again, this time we add the logic A is less than B node. We'll change its color to blue because that's going to be our blue case. Plug the dot product output into A input and just change the name to is below the plane. And then we're looking for a value that is less than 0. And if it's less than 0, then this condition should be true. So if true, we output the true value of 1. And if it's false, we output a false value of 0 and plug this output into the color B. And here it goes. So we change from red to blue already. In the last case, when the point intersects the plane, let's add the is equal logic A is equal to B. Change the color to green. Again, wire the output into value A, and value B is 0 because we want it to be equal to 0. For this to be true, output true value of 1, output false value of 0, and plug it into color B. So now it's most likely working. We just don't see it because we would need to exactly intersect the plane for this to see it. So it's not quite a practical setup. So just to make it a little bit more practical, we will introduce some tolerance for the intersection. And we'll take a very simple approach. So basically what we're going to do is instead of checking for exactly 0 for the intersection, we will make it so that we'll allow it for the intersection to be some small value from 0 in both directions. So something like from minus 0.1, sorry, from 0.1 to minus 0.1. Okay, so the first we need to change the above the plane condition to check against 0.1 greater than 0.1, then this lower than minus 0.1. And then we will modify the intersection test a little bit. We'll add the math absolute node. So we want to see if the number of the dot product output is in the range of minus 0.1 to 0.1, including values of minus 0.1 and 0.1. And so we will simplify this by doing an absolute of this result. We will simplify that the range will be from 0 to 0.1. And that's actually what we're going to test here. So we output this to the value A of this condition, and we will change this. Again, I forgot to change the name, so is intersecting. And we will change the operation from A is equal to B to A is less than or equal to B. And we'll set the value B to 0.1. So now we are testing the range. With this one, we are testing the range, the dot product result in a range from minus 0.1 to 0.1, including the limits, so including the minus 0.1 and 0.1 values. And now that should all be, our setup should be complete. So now when I move the locator, you can see the point A locator, it goes to red, then it goes to green when we are close enough to the plane, and then it goes to blue. And that's pretty much it.
Yum, yum!